this is the kit I'm going to be using. So we have these are Sunny Sky X2207 2100 kV motors, which I've had for a long time now. I've not used them. So Emax ES08MA, these are the analog ones. Yeah, Metal Gear analog. I think they'll be okay. I'll have to do some checks on that. These are 30 amp ESCs, which I got off the remaining mini quad that's now redundant because I don't use it. That's the last parts of the last mini quad. It's a shame, but you know. This is a Betaflight F3 flight controller. Now, the reason why I'm using this is because this is, well, it's not a genuine one, it's actually a clone. And Radio C, I think it was, before they went out of business, they were selling them off dirt cheap. I don't know if they're still going, but I paid, I think it was about 12 quid each for these, so I bought 3 of them. Was it 12 quid? Yeah, about 12 quid. So that does current sensing, it's got OSD, it's got basically everything I need, and I've managed to flash them with Betaflight. I think it's 1.8 something, I can't remember. So they're flashed with Betaflight, and that seems to be working okay. This is a God knows what 1.3, 1.2, 1.3 transmitter. I don't know if it's a 600. Might be a 600 milliwatt. I haven't got anything else, and I can't afford any other bits, so that's what I've got. GPS obviously for iNav. I think this is one that does, it's one of them, loads of GPSs. It gets at least one. Easy UHF Nano, which I'm going to be using. A Runcam Micro Swift 2, I'm going to be using that solely for flight. And I'm also going to be using a Runcam 2 HD for recording. And this is my UHF dipole, which was made by Simon, which has been in the cupboard for a long time. Sorry Simon, I never got round to using it, but I am now. Okay, if you want some decent antennas, and I've said this in every video that I've featured these in, these things will beat absolutely everything. It also does skew planar antennas, cloverleaf, whatever. 5.8, all handmade and all perfectly tuned. So they beat the socks off absolutely everything. Link in the description. Now that's it. Now one thing I've noticed on this plane, when you're building these, because these aileron, spoileron, flapperon, whatever you bloody, what they're called, them things there, because them things there, the amount of force that they actually insert on them, I always do some reinforcement on the other side, or on one side, so as the servo, so as the control arm doesn't pull out. Look at that. And in there goes that. They have literally thought of everything on this plane. Absolutely everything. I mean, there's no way that's going to, once you've glued that onto there, there's no way that's going to come out. So I'm going to start building, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is put the wings together, trim all the bits and pieces off, and then start putting them together. Where's my, I've lost them. Where's my spars? Ah, shit. Come here, spars, where have you gone? Oh, there they are. So these are the spars. So I presume these two here go into the underside of there, which I'm going to do. God, even that fits perfectly. So as always, obviously take it out. Is that a solid? Yeah, that's a solid spar. So as always, I'm going to rough that up and then glue that one into place. And then I'm going to, don't know, glue the bits on the other side. And I might put a bit of packing tape as reinforcement around there. And then I'll see if my servos fit properly. Let's just have a look actually. See if a micro servo. Oh, God's sake. Come on, you. So the micro, yeah, that fits perfectly. So that'll go in there. So that's what they're designed for, is these little servos. 9 gram. 9 gram. 9 gram servos. What are these? It doesn't say. It's 8.5 gram weight, but the torque is 1.8 kilograms per centimetre squared or whatever, I don't care. So I'm going to be mounting those in there, feeding the wires through. Obviously you've got to bear in mind the cover that's got to go on there, so you have to, I presume they just lie flat there and then the cover goes over, but I'll have a look in the book, because that's what I'm going to do with this one, because I want it to be perfect. I've glued the spar in, I've glued the reinforcement plate on there, and I've also glued the servos in. If you want to know why it takes me so long to build planes and God knows what else, and I do it in I don't know how many parts, it's because I do things like this. I don't like connectors. I am it's a pet hate of mine is connectors. I hate them. So I strip the servo down and I put enough wire on there to actually use it properly and just, you know, one run. And if you want to know the glue that I use now, I only use this E6000. It's like shoe goo, but it's flexible, it's permanent, the same as shoe goo. Shoe goo. It's the same as this stuff, but tougher. It really is solid. Once something's on there, it don't come off again. So I've done that on both wings, trimmed all the flashings up and bits and pieces. So that's the wings done for the time being. I might glue the winglets on, which I've still got to trim that piece up there. I might glue those on so as I can leave them for 24 hours and let them set, because there's nothing to do on the wing anymore apart from that, which I've got to leave that to set. So I think I'll glue the winglets on. I was going to use these are my favourite control horn, arm, whatever linkages and everything, so I always use these, but the ones that they've supplied with the pack are decent quality. So basically you snap that piece off there and then you put it through, and then that attaches on the underside and it's ratcheted sort of thing, and that's ABS plastic, which is quite strong. And then you've got this piece here which goes through. Yeah, I can't really show you, but I think I'm going to be using these rather than my normal ones, and I think that's actually carbon steel. Yeah, this is actually carbon steel rather than the usual very thin crappy stuff. I don't think it'll bend. Believe it or not, it's about as bendy as that stuff, and that's carbon fibre. So I think I'm going to use that instead, because the run isn't very long, it's probably only about this long, so there's going to be no flex in it. So I'm going to use that. With these two motor mounts, I I couldn't see how to mount them properly, how they say, and be able to get the motors off. So what I've done is, oh, I haven't got any. You know the was it the ZMR 250 mini quad, the original one? You know the standoffs that you get with those. So what I've done is I've just rammed two of them, or cut two holes, and I've put those through. And then these two bolts here will just take that carbon fibre plate off. I can screw the motor onto the back of that and then screw it in. And that's, I'm going to put some foam in there because the ESCs are going to go down here somewhere, but that ain't going to go anywhere, believe me. It ain't going to shift. That glue is ridiculously tough. So that cures the problem with that. So I can now mount the motors directly onto this carbon fibre plate, and then it ain't going to go anywhere. So I've got my two motors, which I've nicked, off me mini quad. I don't mean I've stolen them. Which have got to go, that one goes on there, that one somehow goes on there like that, and the props are going to be turning inwards, which is the conventional way. Apparently it stops adverse yaws, and I don't know. I've never had a twin motor thing, so hopefully that'll oh bollocks.